if you don't reply fast, you lose money.
Clickbait, 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 clickbait.
The agency is not a wizard. They couldn't promise you like everything and make you earn, but you will sit and do nothing. Let's start. Hello, my name is Anna. I'm from OnlyMonster, and today we have a beautiful guest in our studio called Uptime Agency and its owner, Ollie. So, hello everyone. Greet Ollie, please.
How you doing, guys?
I think everyone is doing well. How about you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good.
Well, I'm so excited actually to start this interview with you, and let's start with describing how's for you running the agency in 2026. It's just the beginning of the year, so I want to hear how it's been doing for you.
Well, the beginning of the year has been good in a way of new opportunity, so that's been good. Obviously, January is always difficult. What I'd say in one word is that it's really competitive, 2026, because I feel like there's a lot of agencies out there now, so that's why I'm finding it competitive, a grind, but nothing out the norm, which it's like running an agency usually.
Let's actually move to the first block in agency edition called Norm or Cringe. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready, Anna. Yeah.
Let's start. So the first question is, the answer is norm or cringe, up to you. So using clickbait hooks just to get traffic, this is norm or this is cringe for you?
It's cringe.
Why?
Well, I do believe that you need to be, using volume to get traffic to your creators. That's definitely a strategy, and that's not cringe. I think what the cringe thing is using just clickbait, 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 clickbait. I think you need to really think about what sort of captions you're going to put, and then you're going to maximize that volume. So that's why I think it's cringe, even though I know what you're saying. It could be normal in a way, and it's definitely a strategy, but I think overall it's cringe, because if you delve deeper into that strategy, then you're going to get better quality traffic and more traffic,
Point accepted. Next question. Posting every day, even if the content feels average, this is normal, this is cringe.
It's cringe again, just because, well, also depends on what type of OnlyFans page it is, right, Anna? But I feel like maybe if it's a free page, it's not as cringe, because you are trying to build volume and traffic and engagement. But I feel like on a VIP page, it's cringe. You should have good quality content, and there's lots of different ways you can make it. You don't even have to rely on the creator these days. So that's why I think it's cringe. So maybe before it's a bit more normal because you had to reuse that content a lot more.
Hey, shooting one full week of content in a single day.
I think that's normal, because you don't get as much time with the creator, especially on shoot days. So there's no guarantee you're going to have another shoot day soon with the creator, even though if you've in theory arranged another shoot day after that, you can't guarantee it. So I think getting as much good quality content, and also because of the creator's time as well, you don't want them to be having to travel around and invest a lot of money into traveling and coming to the studio. So I feel like from my perspective, it's normal because of those reasons,
Yeah, it's about like time management. So I totally agree that if the model can deliver good number of content and actually good quality content shooting by one day, this is completely good.
Yeah, agreed, Emma. Totally agree.
Okay, so a couple more questions from this topic. And next one is keeping subscription prices very low to build volume. Cringe or normal?
I think it's very normal. Yeah, super normal. I mean, I feel like there's so many different strategies you can move around that, but what I was thinking, even if you sit there and you question it, say for example you're doing it and you're thinking, I'm running too many offers on this page and I'm never going to pay the full subscription. Well, first of all, we know that most of the money doesn't come from subscriptions, so we know that first of all. But second of all, even if you think of like, I don't know if you know the company like B&Q in England, right, or in the UK, but they're running discounts on their beds every single day. So I feel like it's just a really good way of entering, getting clients to enter into the page, and I think, would you agree, Anna, as well?
Okay, Accepted. So the last question from from this blog is basically running discounts almost all the time. What do you think about this? Norm, cringe?
I think it's normal. I think it's normal as well. Because, yeah, just going back to what we were saying before,
Yeah, these questions are pretty similar in terms of like the main point. So yeah, if your answer for the previous question was pretty like explained, so this could basically fit to this one. So yeah, it's normal for you. And next block sounds like this, called red flag or green flag. First question sounds like this: agencies that guarantee traffic earnings in the first month. So basically the question sounds like the agency will get the traffic, and this is the main source of getting money in the first month. Do you agree in that this is a green or this is a red flag? Like, make model earn money only because of the traffic that you will provide in the first months of cooperation?
I think it's a red flag, right? Because it's difficult to predict exactly what you're going to earn from any sort of traffic. Of course, you can look at, past. You can definitely make a prediction on what you could potentially earn as an agency, putting your traffic on, putting your methods in when a new model's onboarded. And I do try and make some sort of prediction, but I don't think you can guarantee it. That's one thing I would say.
Do you think that full account access without a clear contract or KPIs, this is green or red flag for you?
I think this is a red flag for me because, having full account access without, well, the thing is, actually, one thing I would say though, can I change my answer a little bit, please, Anna? Because I do think you need to have account access to look at the data and make some sort of prediction anyway. What I would say is like, if the agency gives out these KPIs without having the access first, I feel like, or getting access and starting on the account without moving forward on the account without looking at it before and kind of making predictions without looking at it, that's where I think the red flag is. So, yeah.
But basically you also can provide access to a page by CRM, so you can, let's say, create a role for the model, give her access to, I know you are using OnlyMonster, let's be honest. You can create a role right there for her, and she can simply join OnlyMonster and track her insights from the dashboard. So you shouldn't be 100% responsible for giving her access to her exact page on OnlyFans or on any platform. So this is the point, that you can also avoid providing the direct access.
Totally agreed with you, Anna. Yeah. So on that context, 100% it's a red flag. Okay.
So the next question is delegating DMs to chatters without quality control.
Red flag. It's one of the most important things is having good chat on there. And it's a really difficult thing to actually perfect or have the right chatter on an account. So to just kind of go straight into it without asking the model questions, looking through her chats, looking through everything, looking at everything previously, and then delegating that to the chatters, also having a meeting with them, it's a massive red flag. You have to do those things.
Thanks. But you guys can track your chatters every time, because we have messages tracker, chatter metrics, and messages guard. So yeah, you can track everything your chatters do in our CRM. This was a short integration about us. So yeah, let's move to another question. The next basically question sounds like this: signing long-term contract exclusively without exit clauses.
I think it's also a red flag. So anyone who's trying to trap you in for life, you don't without coming up having some experience with that company, that should be a decision that the creator makes in the end, not a decision that the agency makes. I feel like the agency just needs to do their best job. And so there's always circumstances when you can't do much about that, but I feel like that's just massive red flag.
Yeah, I think that every agency should actually write the information how to leave the agency, how to terminate the contract, for example, before the end date, what penalties would the customer, basically like the model, be served if, for example, she is want to leave the agency in some not agreed time. So everything like this is going to be actually written on the very beginning in the contract, so that everything is going to be as transparent as possible, and both sides would feel definitely safe about that. So glad that your agency actually think that this is a red flag. and you don't do this. So yeah. And last question from this topic sound like this: bring in a lawyer or accountant from day one.
It's a red flag, I think.
Why?
Well, it's a green flag, but it depends how day one. If it's day one and you're just having a discussion about running the account, and then you throw in the lawyers and accountants straight away. But obviously, if you're gonna, I feel it's a green flag in a way that the agency is doing things properly. So of course, if you've discussed and made a deal, I feel like it's a green flag. You should definitely have lawyers and accountants involved. So we know it's serious, and the agency's serious, and the creator's serious. What I meant, the only way it's a red flag, what I meant is if it's like kind of forced upon someone on the first day, kind of you haven't had a proper discussion, you're only just getting to know the creator, you're only kind of just discussing strategies. I think all those things need to be put in place, and then the lawyer and accountant should be brought in just before you put the chatters on and you put all the automations in and everything you're going to do. So yeah, it's definitely a green flag, if you know what I mean, Anna, but it's like, yeah, it's a red flag if it's kind of just like forced, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So thanks for sharing your thoughts on this. We are completely ready to switch to another block of questions. It's more about sales and messaging. And the first block of this topic will called Truth or Lie. Fans care more about attention than perfect messages. This is true or lie?
Truth.
Next question is, personal replies convert better than scripts.
True.
You think?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Because, there's really good scripts out there. And of course, we all use them, right? Because it can be a really good, helpful tool for the chatters. And if you make the right script, it will convert highly. I'm not saying that. But I think if it comes to a whale, sending them a personal message, using the live spender feature on OnlyMonster, for example, that's something that's really, really, really good tool for the chatters to use and send them. When I mean a personalized message, I mean, looking at all the messages before, all the triggers that the fan likes, and then send them a message based on those things is what I mean by a personalized message. So I'm a believer in scripts and do use them too, by the way.
Actually, we have a feature called Fan Persona Inside, and at the very end of this Fan Persona Inside, we have a button Generate Reply, and the message is going to be as personalized as possible. So this message could also become an icebreaker at some point. So it almost sounds like the native reply. So sometimes the chatter actually use this and they are pretty satisfied. But yeah, I also agree that actually personal communication with the fan converts better than scripts, especially if you are talking about the whales, the one who spends money on the page frequently and in a big amount. Next question is, traffic matters more than content quality. Traffic matters more than content quality.
No, false. And I know that's false because I've had models with really good traffic where we've created loads of traffic, or creators, where we've created loads of traffic, and the quality of content just wasn't good enough to convert that traffic at the rate that we're used to. So that's what I think is false. I think they're both the same. They both need to be good.
Yeah, I definitely think that the content should be definitely in a good quality. And the first, if we're talking about the social media, the content should be like eye-catching. So then from the social media fans would like to see what this girl, for example, had on OnlyFans. And if they're paying money, I highly think that the fans should definitely pay for a good quality content, not for a mid one. So exactly. Yeah, agree. Next thing is raising PPV prices is the fastest way to grow revenue.
False. If you look at the data on it, you can look at the data and actually take a risk on that, and it can work depending on the model, or creators. Sorry, there's lots of creators where we've done that and we've noticed, okay, yeah, that actually does work. But I think for me, it's more separation of who's going to buy it at a higher price and who's going to buy it at a lower price. So one thing I would always suggest to do, I think I said it was a false statement, didn't I? Because I think you have to look at it you have to look at everything before you raise the higher price. But also I feel you have to organize the fans. If you organize the fans, you can do a higher price to the fans that are going to spend bigger anyway. And that's not going to, rule out the fans that might spend at a bit of a lower rate, but are more guaranteed to open it. You can actually maximize it, I think. So So yeah, I think raising PPV prices is good, but only if you've looked at the data on.
Okay. And I think that we have 2 questions left from this topic. One loyal top fan can be worth more than 100 casual subscribers. Agree?
Yeah, we know the reasons why. It's,
yeah,
100% the truth. Just because there's you have 100 fans there, and they could spend $10-20 between that whole 100 fans. You might have 5-10 spenders, right? But then when you look at it, when you have a whale, they could spend more than everybody on the whole page in a single day. So yeah, 100% true, I'd say, Anna.
Agree. And last question from this topic sounds like this: if you don't reply fast, you lose money.
Truth.
So the 24/7 chatting is a tool to gain more money, right?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think so. But also, again, when it comes to the whales, they don't mind waiting for a chat reply sometimes. And sometimes it's more realistic if they wait for a chat reply because you seem like you're on the creator's time. So, it might be unrealistic to reply to them at 4 a.m. That's a chatter because, I know she's not up. I've seen her social media. So actually can be false as well because...
it depends, I think. But in general, it's better to actually give them reply when you have time, but not waiting for too long to give the response for the fan. So it's like...
Yeah, because you never know when they're going to be online. If there's a new fan, then you've got to be hot on the response times because they might be speaking to lots of creators, So there's also that. So yeah, response times super important. However, in some cases, could work out in your favor if you don't, but in most cases.
Okay. So next block of questions have different types of answers. The first question sounds like this: AI generated sexting replies. This is trend, trash, or toxic?
This is trend, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because it's a trendy thing to do, isn't it, at the moment?
Yes, definitely.
But I feel like, from my perspective, you can use AI to make it better. That's what I tend to do instead of going to my chat, I just use AI replies because I feel like sometimes it is AI and it's not going to be perfect every single time unless you've coded it or something to a different level. So I try and use it as a helpful tool. So that's why I see it as a
definitely.
trend and not
this
toxic.
is what I've been talking for the long period of time. We, for example, developed AI not for replacement of the chatters, right? Because it couldn't sound as human, right? But we developed AI to help chatters save their time and, for example, use the same amount of time to cover 10 fans at the same time with some AI features help, instead of, for example, sitting and covering only 2 or 3 fans. So this is like a tool that would definitely help. So AI generated messages like replies, so on and so forth, can definitely help, but you definitely need to sit and check how it's working.
Exactly. I agree with you on that, Anna. So, yeah.
Okay. Next question: mass messages as the main sales strategy. Trend, trash, or toxic?
Toxic.
Why?
Well, because I feel like you can't just rely on doing lots of mass messages. I definitely agree with account activity, but then again, I also agree with organization of the account as well. And if you're just going to rely on mass messages, it's going to be toxic. You're not going to hit unless you have like new content on every mass message or something. I don't feel like you're going to hit target, or you're not going to build relationships with the fans. You're just going to block up all the messages and then, I think it's toxic. What do you think, Anna?
I definitely think that mass messages can help you to save the time and actually inform a huge number of fans that you, for example, took a new picture and you want to sell it in the chat. So you can, for example, send the same message to 100 fans and they will receive it. And it actually works as a sales strategy, but not on the whole time and not as a main money source.
Exactly. Yeah.
So basically, I agree with your point. Chatters KPI based only on revenue, not retention. Trend, trash, or toxic?
I think it's toxic. because you have to think of the long term, not the short term. And if you're just going to give your chatters bonuses based on revenue, then they're not going to care about chargebacks, customer care, follow-ups, the right sort of personalized messages, the right sort of chat, the right mass messages. I feel like they need to be part of the whole process, not just the sales. Of course, we all know, sales is really important and something you should drive for. However, you have to also think of the longevity of the fan, the longevity of the page, and the longevity of the of the client as well. So that's why I'll say that's top 6.
Okay. A last question from this topic is testing 10 plus promos angels every week. So you, for example, have different promos and you're testing them every week, new promos, so on and so forth. And this is like a big amount of promos. What do you think about this?
No, I think it's a really good thing to do, because I feel like testing your traffic strategies and refining them is really important. And actually, the more you can do weekly, and then the more data you get back from them is good. I would say even maybe if you could do more than 10 a week, if you have the time, that would actually be really good. So yeah, I'm a fan of that one.
Okay, perfect. And we are finished with this topic. We have a few things to discuss on this interview. The first thing is case questions, and then just gonna be like a final round, so on and so forth. So let's basically move to the case questions. There's gonna be like 4 or 5 questions, and you could basically share your opinion, your experience. Would be nice to actually spill the tea on this. So the first, if a creator has many followers but low paying fans, what do you fix first?
I think the first thing you should look at is the chatting, because if the fans aren't spending enough money, then the chatters are the ones who are supposed to be making the guy spend money. So I think you should look into your quality of chat. I also think you should look into your quality of content as well, because they've got lots of traffic there, but the content's obviously not converting highly. So look at sort of what content the creator's making, and see if it's make sure it's HD, make sure the preview's looking good, and all those things. Another thing I would look at, and the descriptions and captions as well. And then also I would look at your traffic quality as well, just in case that could be, if your traffic's coming from a bad source, or maybe you're doing a purchasing traffic strategy and it's not coming from the right place, or you haven't selected the right sites to get it from that matches the model's niche, or maybe you're doing shout outs on the wrong model niche as well. So all those things you should look at, actually, especially if there's high traffic and low revenue. And I think I gave you an example before where we looked into that with one of our creators, and it was the content quality that was kind of the thing that was the problem there. It was just almost looked like a 3GP video, really dark, right. So I'd look into the content first, but also the traffic quality and the chatting quality is also something you should look into in this use case.
Nice to know that. And next sound like this: renewals drop. What actually the reason of this? So
the reasons renewals drop, I think, is first of all because you haven't rewarded the fan for the renewal enough. And I feel like you should always be using automations or the features on OnlyMonster to help push that, and push the renewals forward. But also you should look at, what you're posting on the feed. If it's a VIP page, really look into the quality of what you're posting, because another thing with that is obviously the fan is not feeling like he's getting enough for his subscription price. So they're the 2 things I'll look into straight away, rewarding the renewal guys and making sure you're posting on the feed enough for those guys who are getting the subscription to feel like they're getting some value for money for that subscription.
Okay, and last question from this topic, like a case of discussion. A creator is stuck at the same income level. What are the first levels you check?
I think the first thing is new subscribers. And I mean, again, you can look at the quality of chat here again to improve this. And you want to make sure your chatters are talking to the whales, they're sending the right messages. But another thing I would say on that is what you could look at is take a deeper dive into the page and look at data about, are you sending your mass messages and your PPVs at the right times? Because you can find all that data out and pinpoint it now, right? So there's something we always do really well as an agency, I think, is when we first get a page on, or if in this, like the use case you said, the creator has stagnated, right, in what revenue they're earning. One thing that we always can go back and look at is top fans. We go into that data and control all of the top fans they've had over the last 3 years and see if we can wake any of them up. That's the first thing we'll do, and that's goes with quality of chat. And then another thing we can do is new traffic. Are we getting new traffic in? Is the traffic strategy working? Because of course, if it's stagnating, a lot of time it's traffic. You can make a calculation and just go, okay, so at the moment we have 5,000 fans and we're making 2K a month, for example, in this case. Okay, so if we have 10,000 fans, 10,000 good quality fans, then we should be making 4K a month. And then also, of course, you can add to that, you could say, okay, no, actually 5K fan, 2K a month. If we make the chatting better and better quality and get the whales to spend, maybe that can be 3.5K a month with 5K fans. And then to say these fans are free, by the way, I'm not taking into account subscription pricing. So we've got 3.5K fans. Okay, cool. 3.5K. Okay, with 10K fans, we'll have 7K. It's like quite a simple calculation. So I feel like you need to look at all these things if they're stagnating. And also, again, content diversification as well. I think it's really important. So I feel like you can look at all these things and find and pinpoint what the problem is and try and attack it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing your actual thought on this. And I hope that you actually enjoyed our interview. I've got the final round for you, and maybe closing question, if you don't mind. So the biggest mistake agencies can make when they start on the very beginning?
I think the biggest mistake they make is not thinking about the longevity of the clients and keeping the client happy. Because of course we all know, right, there's a way we can just boost a page, right, with lots of different methods. But you're going to make sure those methods the clients are happy with. Otherwise, they're going to come back at you and you're not going to have a longevity of relationship with that client. So I feel like come at the angle of, I would always say, if you're first starting out, obviously you have to, come with a position of knowledge and everything like that, super important. And, a position of confidence you can do the page. But I've also got to balance it with doing what the creator wants as well. And then you're going to have longer term relationships is what I've realized.
Okay. The biggest mistake that creators can make while working with an agency? I know the answer, on my opinion. I want to hear yours.
Okay, my opinion is, I think communication and transparency and knowing what the agency needs to actually make you that money is what I would say. What would you say?
Actually is thinking that the agency is a magic trick for them. The agency is not a wizard. They couldn't promise you everything and make you earn, but you will sit and do nothing. You and the agency are both partners. You need to cooperate. As an agency working for you and you work for the agency. So your deal is sit and listen what experts will tell you to do to make your account grow. And you actually should listen to this because you know that agency is here only to make you profit more, but not replace you by taking your work to their hands and making just sit and waiting for the money. This is not how it works. A lot of creators actually think that this is how it works, but it's not. And then they simply upset by the case when the agency couldn't deliver a lot of money and good results for them. Because this is like cooperation. This is not like replacement of the work.
Yeah, and I think this is why when you're even onboarding a creator, you should always be transparent with all the work that needs to be done. So for me, I always
this is what you actually meant. This is communication on the very beginning.
Exactly. Yeah, communication has to be there the whole time. You can't just get excited and think you're going to make loads of money and then boom, give it to the agency. And then the agency is going to offset all of that. No, the agency, we do the best with creators that give us the tools we need, and are transparent with their boundaries as well. So we know exactly what we need to do. And then we can make a proper plan. Otherwise, it's difficult,
Yeah, totally agree on that. Totally. So this was very wise words, especially for the creators. Listen. And last question is, one thing that every creator should implement in the next 7 days to grow in 2026?
I think in the next 7 days, I think they should implement some organization to their page, and they can use automations to help them with that. I think that's the first thing. I think data analytics on their page, because they've got all that data from all the, well, unless they're a brand new creator, that's different. But if they've already been a creator for a while and they want to know how to improve their page, I would say look at the data analytics in the background, and that's going to tell you what to do going forward. And if any creator needs that done quickly, we are here. We do that really quickly for them. Just an FYI. But I would say they're the things. Automation, data analytics, and making sure you've got the right team around you to push your account forward. They're the three things I'd say.
And you guys can track these things in OnlyMonster. So this was all from my side. I hope that you had a great time on this interview. You enjoyed this. You definitely shared some very, very vivid points, some very important information that could be helpful for solo creators, for the agencies who are doing like management jobs the same as you do. So thanks for coming, for giving us your time. Hope you were really satisfied with how it's turned out.
No, it was a really good interview. Thank you so much, Anna. I really enjoyed it. And it was good to be able to talk about the agency and how to run it. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, honestly.
Yep. Thank you too. Have a nice day.
You too, Anna. Speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
And for our followers, don't forget to send some love to this video, write comments, and you can also suggest a few topics for our next videos. Bye.